15, maybe 18 of those. I actually student taught AP Chemistry, which is kind of crazy. I'm also one of the Academy coordinators of the building, so if you ever have Academy questions, feel free and ask. I'm on the instructional leadership team, so sometimes on Thursday morning meetings I'll be there. I'm also in charge of the Academy Leadership Student Team and RAM Council. So I will use Google Classroom for a lot of different things. The main thing is it kind of helps with the organization of the class. So when in doubt, have students check Google Classroom first. So I went ahead and did a snapshot of last year's Google Classroom so you can have an idea of kind of what it looks like. So I like to put what week we're in and the dates, and then usually the topic. So that way when we go back to review for the AP Chem test, they'll remember where things were. I do use emojis to keep track of things, and it coincides with the calendar. So yellow is Monday, blue is Tuesday, green is block day. So for us, that would be Thursday. And then Friday is purple. I also use this emoji of just writing down the notes. That doesn't count for points or anything, but it does help them getting the notes written ahead of time so we can have more time doing things in class. So sometimes your students might be late in clicking done, and it's not that they're late on a per se real assignment, it's just that reminder of writing down notes and things like that. So I will be talking more about a chem journal. We do lots of practice for the AP Chem test, but I thought this would be just a helpful thing to see. This is also a typical slide. This is what they will see when they walk into the classroom. So I usually have kind of the warm up on the top and then kind of the plan for the day. And so this is what we did on Thursday, August 25th. And then any kind of notes I'll add to the daily plan. And then I try to put reminders here. Some will have some short-term reminders, some are long-term. I will always have the test date there under reminders as well. So the other thing on the first slide of the daily plan, they can always click on the notes and calendar all in one place. It's not as pretty as last year, but it still works. There's a link here to all the notes from last year, so they still have access to all of that from last year. And if they want to peruse last year's calendars for AP Chem, they can. But their calendar's right here, and then their notes are here, and this is usually the order of how I'll be teaching things on for the class. So over time, this is going to look a little bit nicer. Just a reminder, the way my notes are set up is they don't have to solve the problems ahead of time. I just ask them to write the notes. Then there'll be a slide with additional practice at the end, and then another slide with additional videos to help. Most of those videos are pre-recorded. I don't have as much on Unit 1, but the later ones I definitely do of having videos recorded of me teaching the material. So this is just a reminder, I do kind of like a flipped learning, but not a total flipped learning. So what that means is they take the notes ahead of time, and I will spend the time doing the problems with them. They can watch the videos of lectures at home if they wish, but they do not have to before. So this way we have more time to get things done, and I would rather them be able to practice and we could work through their problems in class than doing it at home and getting super confused. Now I do want them to practice as much as they can on their own. I do suggest that they keep their work, so if they're having trouble, I can kind of see where they might have made a mistake or just missed a step and those kinds of things. So homework, what I'm doing instead of Alberts or WebAssigns or anything like I've done in the past, I'm going to try having the students complete the progress checks on AP Classroom, and they're going to be due on the Tuesday before the test. And I thought this would be helpful because AP Classroom, they've put a lot of stuff in there. There's also AP Daily videos, which are probably better than my videos on the content, and that will help them really prepare what the AP test will be like later. Some exit tickets I will include. Those will be informative like I did in the past. And usually we'll do labs once a week. I'm probably going to be doing one formal lab, and then the others will be called lab activities. So it's a little bit less pressure on completing a full formal lab. And I do encourage lots and lots of practice, and I'll have lots of options for them. On formative, for every unit, I have done a I do, we do, you do content. So what it does is it reviews the content at the very top. It reviews the objectives from the AP exam, and then it has practice questions, and it instantly gives them feedback if they got it right or not. So this is what I was saying. So I'm using formative for that. Now the practice that they do in formative is not mandatory, but if I do see a bunch of students are getting a lower score on a particular problem, maybe that is something I'll go over as a warm up in class or something like that. So formative is just great for me to do real data analysis and really help the students where they are needing the help, and then not spending place or much time in places where they really do understand the material well, or maybe they remember it really well from last year. And thing that they did not do in the past, which we're going to do this year, is a chemistry journal. It's in a composition notebook. And it's similar to how we did help sheets before exams last year. It's snippets of information they're learning from the current class. So I always want them to focus on something special to AP or the main topics. And I want them to be super organized in those chem journals. They get points for it. They will turn it in on the day of the exam. And then on the year-long final, they'll be allowed to use it. And what I found is it's a great way to refer back to, especially when they're reviewing for the AP Chem test as we get closer. And I'd rather them take that to college than their huge binder with all their notes for the last 2 years of chem. So this class is a dual enrollment with Colorado Christian University. And so you can go directly to their website. And so it's just a dual credit program. The students would register. The class are registering for his Chem 121/131. It's actually worth 5 credits. And so you can learn more information through the Colorado Christian University website on that. And 5 credits is a pretty nice amount of credits. Now, some schools, depending on how you do in the AP chemistry test, will offer up to 10 credits. So I do suggest for many students, I would try, if they can, to do both the dual credit and take the AP test and see if they can get those additional credits as well. By having at least the dual credit, it makes them feel like they get some credit regardless of how they do on that test, because it is a lot of pressure for one exam. So I just want to put that option out there. So College Board has created some more supports than they had before the pandemic. So they have this thing called AP Classroom, which is this place for additional practice. That's where those progress checks will be done for the students before the test days. It has lots of multiple choice practice, free response practice, and daily videos. There's also an AP YouTube channel, and they have lots of videos that can also help students. And these are really master teachers on those particular subjects, and often they are graders for the AP exam. So I think that's also a great way of looking at it. I think trying to figure out who you like to hear the information from, or just even a couple people, it helps students see how all those pieces come together. So just in general, if students are late or have no unexcused absences, I do still drop their lowest test score. On exams, they do not get a help sheet anymore. They do get the College Board reference sheet, which is basically a periodic table and some equations. They can still wow me on the final. There will be a final in first and second semester. The mock exam that we'll do in the spring is usually part of the final, and that would be the multiple choice part. And that's it. So if you have any questions about AP Chemistry, it is a faster paced, deeper dive than honors chemistry. Feel free and shoot me an email. We have a great class. We try to bring in some fun things like white elephant gifts and Valentine's Day boxes and mold day food and stuff. So I do try to break up some of the, it's a tiring class. So I try to have a little bit of fun. We'll still do tie-dye, but again, it's not an easy class. And just realize it's one of the harder ones. It's a hard test, but they will be so much better off later on in their lives. Thank you.